Hello, I'm Star, and this is Star's Galactic Conversation. And today I have my beautiful daughter, Yaya Love, and you can find her on Instagram at Limitless Love 2020. So, can you tell us a little bit about yourself, Love?
Hi, thank you, Mom, for having me here today to give my standpoint on medical cannabis and how it's helped me with my mental illness of bipolarism and also my post traumatic stress disorder. I'm a life changer. I am an advocate for CBD as well as medical cannabis. And um, here I am.
Glad to have you. Um, so basically, you're saying you went to medical cannabis in order to treat your bipolar disorder, your depression, and those type of things. But before you went to medical cannabis, did you try the traditional route of the pharmaceutical drugs?
I absolutely try pharmaceutical drugs. I have been prescribed many uh, pharmaceutical drugs, actually. And my experience with that has been unpleasant. As you know yourself, you've seen me suffer with the severe side effects that are um, pronounced with it. You're given a pharmaceutical drug to help with your depression, but a side effect may actually be increased depression along with suicidal thoughts and attempts, as I've actually experienced myself. I went for treatment for depression, and after being prescribed pharmaceutical drugs, I was increased with depression and then had thoughts of suicide. So,
Right. So, if you think about it, people, you're taking a medication to help you with deep depression, clinical depression, which is mostly, a chemical imbalance or trauma from our lives that we're trying to deal with. And then the side effects of the drug are so debilitating that it makes you want to just kill yourself. So I'm not strong enough to deal with depression, but I'm supposed to be able to deal with the suicidal thoughts. Like, that's crazy. It is just so crazy. Um, but what are the benefits? Like, how do you feel different using the pharmaceuticals and different from using medical cannabis?
for me, pharmaceutical opposed to medical cannabis, I would always be pro medical cannabis and activist for that because, again, my experience with pharmaceutical drugs increased my depression. I am not an advocate for pharmaceutical drugs. I am definitely an advocate for medical cannabis because when taking my medical cannabis, which there's different forms of intake. Um, but for me, my anxiety, my depression, um, my mind is not racing so much per se.
Hmm.
I have, it's not a cure, but it does help to support me into being able to take a moment and um, diffuse any situation that I may be
Hmm.
going through, and really on a daily basis just to help support my thinking.
How does anxiety hit you? Like, give me an example of how you feel when you're feeling anxious.
I feel it in my body. Anxious is definitely a overall body experience, and there's many triggers to my anxiety. I've had a traumatic childhood, and with my post traumatic stress disorder, excuse me, I suffered with postpartum as well.
Hmm.
But with post traumatic stress disorder and my bipolarism, along with the anxiety, it's severe when it comes to my
Hmm.
body. I can feel the effects in many different ways. Sometimes Um, my heart begins to race. My palms are
I was
sweaty.
about to say, I used to,
Um,
mine would feel like electric current and my body would just start shaking.
right.
And I didn't even have to have anything imminent, like anything to make me feel anxious. It was just a feeling that just happened that I wasn't control of. It would just be like a wave
Right.
that would come
Triggers.
over my body, right?
Or maybe
And I
not.
didn't know whether it was an environment thing or all I know it was just something that came over me and it made me feel scared and it made me my heart race like you said and it made me feel unable to function in those moments.
Because for me, my mind races as well. So it's a body experience where you're kind of, like you said, scared. You're experiencing sweaty palms or just nervous hands.
Mhm.
For me, also, it's a thought process. Like my
Right.
thoughts are just ever racing. It's the what if this happens and
Mhm.
what had happened and what could happen, and not really being able to just take a moment and be in the moment per se.
Right. Well, one of the things, being a parent of, someone suffering with the bipolar disorder is to see, the manic, when you're up and you're positive and, everything's good
Absolutely.
and,
Right.
you're working out. But then the reverse is like, oh, I'm so tired. I'm so depressed. I can't get up, and, just wanting to just like help your child. It's like, but I'm just so pleased to see that, you now with the medical cannabis and you finding a balance because, not only, for your self care, you're a mother,
Absolutely.
and you have to be at your best self. And, just like they always tell you when you're on that airplane, what do they say? Put
Gotta
that
strap
mask
your
on you
mask on first.
first.
Absolutely.
Can't take care of that baby if you knocked out. So, I really admire the fact that you moved toward positivity and, finding self care for yourself because that's self care for your family. And those things are so important. Um, so we spoke about, the First Lady of the West, and how she's out there doing things, creating strains, and that's one thing about the industry. I'm so excited about the people. I have an opportunity to speak within everything. And if
Yes.
you had the opportunity to speak to the First Lady of the West, what would you like to say to her, Yaya Love?
Well, um, I would actually like to say thank you, sister. Thank you, because uh, not many people like us, my of melanin and color and
Right.
are able to
Speak out.
speak out and break the stigma of medical cannabis and the effects it have when it comes to mental illness. We're being told by the doctors that like you said for yourself and your story, like this, you have to live this kind of way. This is the medicine you need to take. Medical cannabis will only enhance your problems, it's not going to help. And that's not true. Now, everything doesn't work for everybody, but for me, I choose medical cannabis over pharmaceutical drugs. And First Lady of the West and her strains and just her um, voice and her platform and her story of having the background of bipolarism, it's an inspiration. It's motivation,
Right.
and it's like just a blessing to have someone who knows what it feels like to
Right.
really
Right.
be, in this in this body and
Exactly.
experience of mental manic moments of
But knowing that all of that talent, all of
right.
that creativity, all of that positiveness is in there. And we just had to find her natural balance, her natural rhythm for her to be who she is. And thank you so much, First Lady of the West, for being the creator and the innovator that you are,
Absolutely.
allowing
Thank
yourself to
you.
be a vessel of God, to let Him pour into you so that you can create strings for us,
Yes.
So I'm just so proud. Um, to have had the opportunity to speak to you and to speak to you about my daughter and
Thank you.
her overcoming um her challenges and just like living life, taking it, and we not just letting life happen to us, we making life happen,
Absolutely.
and
Absolutely.
that's the difference. And thank you for the woman empowerment, the unity, bigging me up, bigging you up,
Absolutely.
that's what
To
it's
be
all
an
about in this
advocate
industry.
and, just loving one another.
Right.
And like you said, just being a vessel and the God given gift
Thank you
to
so much, sister.
thank
Thank
you.
you. And I think we're just going to wrap it up, just doing a little quick thing, to let you know how much we appreciate you and we appreciate the plan. And again, these are just stories that you can share with others because there's others who are suffering, trying to make it with these pharmaceuticals and, the side effects and the long term effects. If you love somebody, share the plant with them, share information with them. And
Absolutely.
it's never going to be a one conversation. It's too much information to try to dump on people at one time. Just plant a seed, nothing more than a
Literally.
little, really,
Literally
like
just
just like a
plant a
1 little minute
seed.
thing, and walk away. Guess
Right.
what? They're gonna come back asking you questions.
Natural medical cannabis is definitely the way to go opposed to pharmaceuticals.
Yes.
So thank you.
Right. And look forward to Star and Yaya Love combining some events. Yes.
Absolutely.
We're gonna bring some cannabis events for you. We're gonna have some fun too, Lady Goddess, all that kind of stuff. Okay,
Absolutely.
so please look forward and thank you for watching.
Bye.
Mwah.